you guys. I'm so sorry I've been gone. But it's for good reason. I've been so busy working, getting everything in place for you guys for the boot camp. So it's only gonna get better from here, and I'm so excited. So welcome, guys. Hello, Sassy Spirit. Hello. How are we? Thanks for being here. We have fun here, right? I hope we learn a lot here. Hopefully, you guys. And if not, the boot camp is coming back better than ever, baby. I just keep like adding and adding to it, so it's gonna be really good. Hi, Miranda. How are you? Welcome, everybody. I'll give it a couple more seconds, and I'll let you guys know who I am and what it is that I do here, if you guys are interested, because we learn a lot, and this is primarily just a resource for you guys to be able to ask any questions that you might have, and I make myself available for that. So hi, welcome. Welcome, everybody. All right, I'll get to it. Let's stop wasting everyone's time. Hi, welcome. My name is Laura Anderson, also known as Digital Laura Anderson. I am the founder of the 10-hour 10K work month, a fully accredited online trade school that teaches people how to work smarter, not harder, how to take online trades and turn them into a business that allows them to work only 10 hours per month and make over $10,000 every single month. You heard that right. Working 10 hours per month, making over $10,000 per month. I am a international keynote speaker on all things AI. I was recently in Vegas and in New York, where I teach businesses and people how to leverage the best AI tools out there so that they can work smarter, not harder. I am an author, you guys. My book is coming out in December. It's available for pre-order right now, and it is the full philosophy behind the 10-hour 10K work month, with a lot of great information, my story, and a lot of really tangible things that you guys can walk away with to help you also work smarter instead of harder. So super exciting. Let's see what else. I am a Meta ads expert, a TikTok ads expert, and an email marketing expert. I have clients in all of those, and that is how I myself created my own 10-hour 10K work month. And I was able to do that by learning those skills and trades fully, completely, and totally online, and then marketing myself as an expert instead of what typically people do, which is go get a job, right? I didn't want to get a job. I hate jobs. Who likes a job? Am I right? Like, who likes their job? I'm sorry. Maybe you like your job a little bit, but if it wasn't paying you, like, you know, would you voluntarily go there, right? If you didn't need money, say you were fine with money, would you still go? Probably not, right? Because nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work their job. And so it's just not the way the world works anymore either. You know, we hear so many people complain about like, oh, well, I work a 9 to 5. I went to school. I got a degree. I work a 9 to 5. I work the same 9 to 5 my parents did, right? And they were able to afford all of this stuff with only a third of what I'm making now. And it's like, think of like put it into context, right? Do we pretty much do anything the same we did when our parents were our age, right? I'm in my 30s, right? So when my parents were in their 30s, they didn't even have a home computer in their house, okay? Let alone a smartphone. The only way you could access information, it was gate-kept in universities, right? And working those types of jobs, like only, I think it was something like in the 70s, like 6% of the working population had degrees, only 6%. So back in those days, having a degree actually meant something. It actually gave you a leg up. It actually gave you a ticket that, you know, 94% of the rest of the population doesn't have. And that gives you a leg up, right? And allows you to get into those jobs and those opportunities that a lot of other people can't get, and into roles that paid really well back then. We, like I said, we don't do anything that our parents did back in that day. And we think, though, that the same way that they made money is and be able to afford things is going to be the same way we can make money and make money in today's world, right? They were able to make money in those jobs because those jobs paid for those things that were back in that time, right? Like they could afford a house that cost that amount of money. We're doing, like, we want to afford modern prices, but we're doing boomer jobs, right? And it's like, hello, we got it, something's got to give, and people are still advocating for going to school and getting a degree. And I'm not here to knock degrees or an education. We need to be educated people, right? It's not, we don't have to go that route anymore to get educated, right? The internet teaches us everything that a degree teaches and more. And it doesn't, and the fact is degrees are dated, right? It's just, there's no way in a modern world with technology that changes on a daily basis that you can put together like a 4-year curriculum and it be relevant after those 4 years, right? Like if they put together a 4-year curriculum and they're like, okay, you take these classes, you learn this material, and I understand that the books are updated like yearly, okay? Every year the books update, but it's the same material and it's just the same material that's updated. You go to school and get a marketing degree and you go out in the real world and it's like all these old school marketing techniques and it's like, wait, this doesn't apply to literally anything today. And that's because you can't create a 4-year curriculum in things that change so rapidly. It's impossible. And so if you want to be able to afford the things that our parents were able to afford at our age, you can't expect to work those same jobs, right? Because that afforded it back then, right? We don't do anything the same as they did back then, and so it's got to be same with jobs. We've moved on, we've evolved, and if we want to be able to afford modern prices, we have to work modern jobs. It's just how it is. Any tips for somebody who's 26? So, as a seasoned veteran, somebody who is a decade older than you, first of all, you are so young. 36 is young. I look in the mirror and I don't think that, but it is so young. You have to put it into perspective that, right, like you're really, 18 is when you're actually out on your own, right? Everything before that you can't really count as even experience. So you've had such a short period of time out there, like actually in the real world. And think about when you can double that, right? So, you know, when you're in your 40s, the amount of, it'll just be experience, right? It'll just be learning, it'll just be experience, right? So in double your age, I mean, you're on a whole other planet when it comes to, and I know that sounds crazy, right? You're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't wait, double my age. Especially because we look on the internet and we see people who are like 22 years old and they're like multimillionaires, and we're like, why is that not me? Everybody else seems to do it, but I can't. And that's not real, right? Of course it is real. I'm not saying they're liars. That's real, but that's 0.00001%, right? And it's totally possible and it's totally doable, but for the rest of the people that are actually wildly successful and really, really wealthy, right? The majority of it is done in the realm of consistency over time, picking one thing, sticking with it and seeing it through and being consistent over and over and over and over and over and over, even when you fail, even when you mess up, even when everybody tells you you're stupid for trying, and you keep at it, right? Because that's how anybody wins. You don't have to be good at something so long as you're consistent with it, because that's how you get good at something. When you are consistent with it, you learn more than if you actually just read about it, right? Put it like this, right? Say you show, like, you've never picked up a baseball bat in your life, right? Who do you think is going to get better at baseball? Somebody who's never picked up a baseball bat in their life? Who's going to get better? Who is more likely to hit a home run, right? Somebody who reads all of the information, the techniques on figuring it out and like watching all of these professionals, or somebody who steps up to the plate every single day and swings and tries to hit that ball, right? The person who's actually implementing and executing without even ever having read a single book and just gets up to the plate and just hits it over and over will get there so much faster than somebody who sits around and either studies about it or reads about it or thinks they're very, very knowledgeable about it. But then when they get up to the plate, none of that stuff makes any sense. It's all out the window now, and they've got to start at square one and actually start trying to hit the ball, right? Consistency, discipline with consistency will outbeat everything, always, every single time, no matter what. Consistency pays off 100% of the time. You just have to be willing to out-consistency everybody else. And if you do, you will win. You will win. So if you're a 26-year-old, by the time you're 32, I promise your whole world can be 100% different. You can be in a totally different tax bracket. Even if you think that that's a long time from now and you don't want it to be like that long, I promise it's so short and it happens so fast. Like, I met my husband when I was 26, and that feels like yesterday, you know? It happens in a blink of an eye. And so if you just can put on tunnel vision, pick one thing. And I'm not saying to do something over and over and over, and if it doesn't work, keep doing it. You have to adapt, you have to pivot, you have to roll with the punches, learn what works, learn what doesn't work, and adapt to that, right? Lean into what works. That's how you figure out what works, right? Is by trying over and over and over and figuring out the best method to do it. If you can just stick your head in the sand for a couple of years, out consistent everybody else, you will win. You will win. It's just inevitable. Like, success, you don't even have to think about it. You don't even have to plan success, because it will happen inevitably if you just stick it out. So many people, because of the internet too, especially, and I was actually going to make a TikTok on this, because this is one of the main reasons why I think AI specifically, sorry if I'm rambling, it's a good question. Why I think AI specifically is going to make the majority of people be less successful, and a very, very few extremely successful, and the majority less successful than if they didn't have AI. And I'll tell you why. It's because implementation and execution and sticking with it is the hardest part. That's the hardest part, right? And when we have tons of options, it becomes even harder to stick with one option and see it through. And then you get shiny object syndrome. When something you're working on plateaus, you move on to the next thing, and then again you plateau, you move on to the next thing, you plateau, you move on to the next thing. And then you've like spent all this time trying to become successful, when if you had just stuck with the first thing, you would have been successful by now. And with AI, right, it's given us so many more ideas, so many more options, that it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. You can create 50 unique strategies on how to develop something, create something, and you will over and over and over in your head play, did I pick the right one? Because there's so many, right? Did I pick the right one? There was some study that it was like in an art class, right? Something like that, I don't know. And there were two groups of students, right? One group had to pick an art piece, right? And they had to pick an art piece that they found, I don't know, to be the best art piece that they could find. And they only had one opportunity, and then they had to submit it, right? While the second group, they got to do the same thing, but 2 days before, they all submitted at the same time. But the second group, they had 2 days before, they could swap it out. They were able to swap it out if they wanted to. And it showed that the ones who actually picked with their decision were able to become like way happier, way more positive thinking, way more confident in their decision, right? Because they picked it, they locked it in, they didn't have a choice. So they were telling themselves, this is right, I'm good, I don't have an option, right? While as the other person, they replayed in their head and second guessed themselves every single day until the day where they were able to pick whether or not they wanted to swap out. And it ruined them, it mentally ruined them. And so when you pick one thing, and you lock in with it, and you just stick with it and see it through, you're so much more likely to become successful. And then now with AI, it gives shiny object syndrome to the 100th million. And I'm going in, getting all of these ideas from AI and thinking about like, oh my God, I could do this. Oh my God, I could do that. Oh my God, I could do this, right? And then you start to think like, why did I pick the wrong one? Because I'm plateauing, right? Why did I pick the wrong one? Maybe I should go into the other one, because it was so easy to put it together, right? So I really see people getting stuck in this vicious cycle of shiny object syndrome, because AI makes it like times 1,000, whereas the small minority who are okay with making a choice and seeing it through are the ones that are going to come out on top. So my advice for you as a 26-year-old is that consistency pays off 100% of the time, and I promise you don't have to be good at something so long as you're consistent with it. And you have to put on tunnel vision and not listen to anybody else. I'm not talking about like a mentor or something like that. I'm talking about people who have never done anything that you've done, who don't think it's a good idea. Who cares? Who cares? They're probably jealous. The majority of the time they are. And that it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable to have people doubt you and to disagree with you and tell you that your idea is stupid. So pick something and see it through. Obviously adapt and pivot where you need to, but see it through, and I promise you will get there so much faster than anybody else that's going to be shiny object syndrome. The problem is that consistency is hard. It's hard to continue to do something over and over and over and not see results. But a lot of times progress isn't seen, especially when it comes to the online world. I mean, I live on the online world. I go out and I live a very normal, very, very normal life. And like, I've gotten up on stages. I've spoken to the Prime Minister of New Zealand on how to leverage AI in business. I have a book coming out. I have a podcast. I now have Accredited online trade school. I do all of these speaking engagements. I've worked with some really, really high level people. I've managed millions online in advertising spend for huge companies. I have my own multi-million-dollar business now. And that's all online. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't translate to my real life in any capacity. Like, obviously we have more financial security now, but like on a day-to-day basis, like, I live a very normal life. And so it's really, really, really hard when you're consistently doing something and you don't see it pay off in your real life. You're kind of just like still living your normal life, but the progress is being made, and that's being made with every failure you're learning something. And there's a big difference between motivation and discipline, right? It's easy to do things when we're motivated, right? And something's exciting and we learn something new and we're trying it out, right? But discipline comes when you still do it even when you're not motivated, even when you're not excited, even when you feel stupid, even when you failed a bunch of times. It's that discipline that you need to have. ChatGPT can't be used 24/7. It needs a break after a while. Are there any free unlimited AI platforms? Well, just use them interchangeably then. If you're only using the free ones, Claude is really good. Perplexity is really good. ChatGPT, obviously, U.com, they all have free versions. And then when one dries up for the day, go use the other one. If you want something that's unlimited and to use it, you're going to have to pay for it. They don't have ads or anything. You'll never get good at something by doing it. You got to learn and study the technique. You don't think that you learn the technique by trying it yourself. It's funny because you can learn somebody else's technique and then try it out and it doesn't work for you at all. And then you've spent all of this time learning a technique that you can't implement. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't learn stuff. Like ongoing education, like personal education is very, very important, but you learn so much more from experience than you'll ever learn from reading or watching something, right? Because on the majority of the time, what you learn just doesn't simply translate. And even if it does, sometimes it's different for different people. How can I position myself like an authority in my niche if I'm selling digital marketing? So, I'm not an expert when it comes to every single industry niche on the planet, so this would just be something spitballing off the top of my head. First and foremost, I would ask ChatGPT. I would say, how can I position myself like an authority in my industry, in my niche, if I'm selling digital marketing? Please ask me a bunch of questions before, so you fully understand who it is that I am, what it is that I offer, the niche that I'm in, so that you can come up with a well-developed response that's personalized for me. But really, the way to position yourself as an authority, you want to have a website. AI can build you a website in 30 seconds, speaking it into existence. You want to have a LinkedIn profile, social media channels if you want, because that's going to give you that foundation. That's going to give you more so than just the average contract or freelancer on like Upwork or Fiverr that's just looking for people. You've got that built in. Okay, look, this isn't just somebody saying, hey, I can do this. They've got a website, they've got a LinkedIn profile, and it is like robust, right? So that's going to get you there. Also putting out lots of valuable content and information, primarily on LinkedIn, right? So I have a strategy of getting clients on LinkedIn, and it involves 0,0,0,0,0 cold messaging. LinkedIn is so spammy, and like as a business owner, I know that like I never touch my DMs because it's just so much spam from people being like, use my services, pick me, use my services, and I'm not even looking to hire anybody. And this is what I teach in my boot camp on how to get clients on LinkedIn, and it is sharing content. So you position yourself as authority, as that go-to person in your skill, within your niche, right? And then you need to post content, and all of this content cannot be like sales whatsoever. It has to be value driven for your ideal client, right? So whoever your ideal client is in whatever niche, and put out valuable content that's going to help them. You can have ChatGPT come up with every single post. It's very, very simple. It takes you 5 minutes to come up with 30 posts that you can post on LinkedIn. And then use hashtags, right? So say like I'm in the beauty and skincare niche. So my tagline is I scale beauty and skincare e-commerces through profitably through meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. It's exactly what I do, how I do it, and who I help, right? And it's very concise and to the point. So I would say like, you know, hey, ChatGPT, I need a LinkedIn content that I can post out that is going to be super valuable for my ideal client. My ideal client is beauty and skincare e-commerce brands who are spending at least $100,000 a month on meta ads, right? So it needs to be high level information, right? Not just like post 2 ads a day or something like that, you know? That every time I post, that client that reads it, their jaw is going to drop because they're going to be so mind blown with the information that I'm providing for them. Come up with 30 posts that I can post on LinkedIn along with appropriate hashtags so that my content gets seen by the right clientele and recruiters. You can post 3-5 times a day on LinkedIn and have AI come up with all of it. And then what happens is that you get recruiters up the wazoo in your messages being like, hey, listen, we have this client, they need meta ads, they need somebody to run their meta ads, we think you would be a perfect candidate for them, can we submit you? And you're like, you sure as heck can. And then bada boom, bada bing, you're not doing any cold outreach, and they're coming directly to you because you have positioned yourself as that authority. If you liked that, keep in mind, I go way in depth in my bootcamp, and I give you a ton of AI prompts to get there, and I walk you through the entire process. So I hope that helped. You'd like to do a course in media buying. Which course would you recommend to take? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Well, there's tons of good boot camps and courses out there, right? I have my own personal boot camp, but mine is a fully accredited online trade school. So you get certifications in meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing, as well as AI automation that is legally recognized in over 51 countries. You can't get degrees in these things, so the only way to get like a professional level certificate is to get it through an accredited facility, which is what I officially am now. But I don't just teach you, right? Because you're going to find a lot of courses and stuff that just teach you the skill and the trade, and then there's like, okay, now go get a job, right? I don't do that. I teach you, okay, now you've learned the skills and the trades. Now how do you actually work for yourself? How do you get clients? How do you actually make money from it? And I go super in depth in that, and then how to automate the entire process using AI, and then how to delegate all of the workouts so that you work only about 10 hours per month. It's very, very, very in depth. It's not open right yet because it did get recently approved for the full accreditation. It was a very, very rigorous process, which is a very good thing for you guys. It just means it's very, very legitimate and provides a ton of value and gives you guys that accredited certification in all of those trades and skills. It will be available to purchase and enroll in hopefully the first week of November. I do have a wait list in the link in my profile. It's going to be the first link there, or the second link. I think the first link is for my Substack. If you're interested in that too, it's free to subscribe to my Substack. I think it's the second link. I think the first link is for my Substack. If you're interested in that too, it's free to subscribe to my Substack. I think it's the second link if you want to sign up for the waitlist for the boot camp. SF Bay Mama, surprise, surprise, good to see you too. I've missed you guys. I've been so MIA, and I'm so glad to be back. I'm going to be back more regularly. I am still working tirelessly on improving the boot camp for you guys, and it's very, very exciting, and I can't wait for it to relaunch. SF Bay Mama is one of my current students, and so she still has access to the entire boot camp, but I will relaunch it very, very soon. So if you're interested, make sure you do sign up for that wait list, because you will have like exclusive offers to be one of the first, if you're one of the first people that actually enroll. Don't worry, SF Bay Mama, current students always get all of those incentives automatically. Shayna, how much money do you need to get started? Ooh, this is a great question, and I'm so excited to answer it for you because you're going to like the answer. You don't need any money, $0, okay? This is coming from somebody who offers a boot camp that costs money, right? And I'm telling you, you can learn everything completely, totally online for free. That's how I did it. Granted, it took me 12 years to get to where I am now, where I was working the 9 to 5, making $16 an hour. I was broke bartending, like college flunk out, to where I am now, making 6 figures a month, 7 figures annually. It took me 12 years to get to that point. Whereas I have students who, Danny in her first 4 months, had over $80,000 in monthly retainers, offering these services to meta ad services to insurance companies. Rick, who I did a live with Rick, if you were able to catch it, where he talked about his experience, and in 2 months after he purchased the boot camp, he was making over $50,000 a month offering med ad services and AI automations to med spas and plastic surgeons. All of that taught in the boot camp. So that's the difference, right? Is if you can be 100% self-taught like I was, but it took me 12 years, or you can take like a course or a boot camp that's going to get you there faster, right? Because you're going to go through a lot of trial and error. You're going to go through a lot of what works and what doesn't work and figuring it out, right? And could take you potentially 12 years. Whereas you purchase somebody else's 12 years worth of experience and knowledge, and you get on a silver platter simply what works. If you guys want me to run through the entire boot camp, I can. But yeah, you can be self-taught. YouTube University, you're going to sift through a lot of terrible information, and you're going to find a lot of good information, and it's going to take a while, but it's doable. You downloaded Substack to watch my live and it wouldn't let you watch it or show me you were live. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I was there and I was answering questions. Hopefully next time it works. I'm going to be going live regularly though, again on TikTok and Instagram. So don't worry. You can always catch me here. SF Bay Mama, you finished the entire boot camp and it's given you so much hope in these crazy times. Oh, I'm so glad. That makes me feel so good. I can't stress this enough. It has never been harder to get a job than it is right now. And it's never been easier to work for yourself. It is so much easier to work for yourself because of all of the technology and resources and AIs we have at our hand, and the fact that so many companies are laying people off and replacing them with people like me, people like my students, who can do the work, but we can do the work of 5 to 10 people because we leverage AI. It's just so crazy. So I'm so glad. What about current students? Do we get access to the accreditation or is that an additional charge? Jenna, thank you so much for asking. And current students always get access to any and all updates, totally complimentary. You do not have to pay an additional dime ever. However, if you already finished the entire boot camp, in order, because you'll still get a certification from me, from my LLC. I've always offered that and you will still get that. But in order to get the accreditation certificate, you'll have to pass exams. That's part of their requirements, their stipulations. There are 3 exams, a meta ads exam, a TikTok ads exam, and an email marketing exam. There's no exam for AI automation. It's changing all the time anyway, but you still get a certification in that. So you will have to take the exams. The exams don't cost any money. You do have additional chances to take the exam. If you fail, I think it's like within 48 hours and the questions do change. So it's not like you're going to get the exact same test and know the answers. But don't worry, if you've taken the boot camp, you will be equipped to be able to pass the exams. I will let you know when all of that is live and you will be able to take those exams. So congratulations, Jenna, because you will have that opportunity and you will get access to all of the crazy, insane updates totally for free. Many business friends see the need and value of marketing because of our relationship. Looking good. I love that. And I am very much like shameless self-promotion. I have no guilt in self-promoting myself to all my family, all my friends. Like, this is what I do. This is who I am. If you are thinking of anybody, talking to anybody, and it sounds like something that I could help them with, please let them know. So I love that. Maria, how many tries do we have to pass? So you get unlimited, but I think it's just like every 48 hours. So you'll have to wait like 2 more days. And then, like I said, the questions will be different. Chastity, how do we sign up for the boot camp? So the doors to the boot camp are currently closed, but they will reopen in November with all of the updates and the full accreditation. So you can click the link in my profile. It'll take you to my link tree. I believe it's the second link. Let me double check. And you can sign up for the wait list. You can also join my Substack. That's also in my link tree, and that is free to subscribe to. Just let me double check. Yes, it's the second link in my link tree is to sign up for the boot camp, to be on the wait list. And it's very important if you're interested in it to sign up for that wait list, because you guys will get exclusive offers like freebies if you're one of the first people to sign up once the boot camp is reopened. And don't worry, current students, you still always get all of the freebies that come through. Hi, are you going to have any Black Friday sale for 2020 or any upcoming free masterclasses? So I'll have a free masterclass. That's going to be redone because the masterclass that I have now is for the boot camp as it is, but the whole boot camp is fully revamped, so I want to have a fully revamped masterclass as well. I don't think I'm going to have, last year I did do a Black Friday sale, and it's the only sale I've ever done ever. I don't think I'm going to do one this year simply because, like I said, I'm going to have incentives for when the boot camp is reopened. Which happens in November, and Black Friday also happens in November. So I think it's just going to be like too messy, too much. So there will be some sort of incentive though, or deal in November. It's just not going to be like a Black Friday thing. And it's going to be obviously in the beginning of November. Jamie, when is the live class for the community? Was that included if you bought before the shutdown? So I don't have like any set lives. For the community. I do go live regularly on TikTok and on Instagram. I answer every single student's question there. I also have the Facebook group, which is a student-only Facebook group as well. I answer every single question that gets asked in that Facebook group, and then all students can also email me any questions they have. And the new update, it's so cool, you guys. The new update is going to have my AI clone as your personal 24/7 assistant. It's going to be fully trained on the entire boot camp from front to back, all the way to all of the resources and everything. And you can access that chatbot 24/7 and ask questions and be like, hey, on this module at minute 2, you talked about this. Can you go in more depth or explain it better what it means? And it'll be able to do that for you. So really, really cool. I go live like all of the time. I've only been MIA this month because I'm adding all of those updates currently. Any idea when the updates will be rolled out? I don't have the specific date, but first quarter of November. How can you start an online business? This is a shadow banned question because it's like blurred out. How can you start an online business without being hunted down by tax administration? Why are you trying to evade your taxes? Don't do that. They will find you. Why do you... There are and like, I'm at a high level to where I pay a shit ton of money to the government, and I do try to minimize my tax burden, obviously ethically and legally as much as possible by like paying for business expenses, and being able to utilize, certain things, but you gotta pay. And there's obviously way more I could do, but I don't even do it because it's so much of an effort. And either way, that money has to be out of your pocket, right? It's got to be, it can't be sitting in your bank. If it's sitting in your bank, the IRS is going to take a percentage of it if you haven't paid to the IRS. So there are a lot of things that you can do to like appease the IRS, right? Like right now they are incentivizing taxpayers to invest in oil and gas. And so if you put your money there, you get a big tax break instead of paying it in taxes. But still, then that's not your money. And that investment, like, sometimes is hit or miss, and you could lose all of your money there too. And it's a very long, rigorous process to go through. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pay it. Like, I have a lot in profit. It is what it is. I also need to have a lot in profit in the event that I ever want to sell my business. Because, you know, I could go out and buy crazy things for the business, right? And then have no profit and then owe no taxes, right? Like, that's why you'll see a lot of companies that have like 3 helicopters, but they don't have any profits, right? Because they're trying to avoid paying taxes legally and ethically and spending all of the profits reinvesting in the business, right? With helicopters and stuff like that. So I could do all of that. So either way, that money's gone. It's gone. And then when you sell that helicopter, you got to pay taxes on it, right? Like, you, at the end of the day, the money comes out, right? And then when you put your money in oil and gas and you make that investment, when you take that money out, you got to pay capital gains. Like, you can leave your money in assets, but at some point, no matter what, you're going to end up. Uncle Sam's coming. But there are really, really good ways of making it so that money makes you money rather than paying the IRS. It's a whole thing though. Like, and I strongly suggest you pay your taxes. And you have to always, if you're making a lot of money, you have to have a payroll, you have to pay yourself out, and you have to pay yourself what's called a reasonable salary. So if my business is making $2 million in profit, I can't pay myself $30,000. The IRS is going to be like, oh, you're evading Medicaid and Social Security taxes, right? Because your business profit doesn't have to pay those. So now you've got to pay payroll taxes for your employee, and your employee, who's me, has to pay my own W-2 taxes. I pay so much in taxes, it's ridiculous. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, of course, but don't try to evade your taxes. That's really, really not smart, and I would never advise that. You make a lot of money, you don't mind paying taxes because you're making so much money you don't even notice that money's gone. I notice it's gone, but you know what I'm saying. It's painful. What's painful is that, you know, I used to bag groceries at Winn-Dixie. I used to make $16 an hour. And now my tax bill is over 6 figures every single year. And I didn't even make close to half of that every single year. And now I owe more than that in taxes. It's crazy. It's a blessing, of course. Is the original Bootcamp down or just not open to sign up? So it's the Bootcamp itself isn't down. Current students still have full access to it, but no new student is able to get in until the revamp, and I reopen the doors in early November. What would be in the exam? So I don't want to give too much away because I'm not supposed to. Practical ad buying with clients, not just results theory, all of it. But don't worry, I give you guys study guides in there too. And once you take the boot camp, you'll be able to pass the exam. Fancy Frog, nice to see me. Nice to see you too, or great to see you. I'm so sorry I've been so MIA, but I'm back. I'll be live more regularly, and the boot camp is going to be back better than ever. How much is the boot camp, and can you please go over it? Okay, if you guys want me to go over the boot camp, can you drop a 1 in the chat just so I know? These lives are for you guys. I go live simply to answer your questions and to be a resource for you, so I only want to go over the things that you guys want to hear and talk about. So the boot camp, it was previously $4,000 all in. You literally get everything. I'll go through it again, but typically during my lives, it's always half off, right? So previously the boot camp was always just under $2,000 at like $1,997. The price did have to go up to meet the requirements for the accreditation. It was evaluated once I got the accreditation. They did do an evaluation of it, and it is now evaluated at between $20,000 and $30,000. Don't worry, I'm not charging that much. Just letting you know what it's valued at now and everything that you get and what that accredited certification is of value to. It'll probably be $5,000. But again, I will offer it 50% off during my lives. Again, it's not available right now, but when I do, because I have to raise it, like there is like a threshold I have to meet, and that's like the minimum threshold. So, yeah, can't wait for the updates. Any idea when they'll be finished? So early November. Okay. Oh gosh. Sorry, I wasn't scrolled down, so I was reading comments from like probably 5 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of ones. Okay, I'll go through it and let you guys know. Two things certain in life: death and taxes. Ain't that the truth? Uncle Sam will always come after you. It's not very fun, but it is what it is. Okay, so let me go through the entire boot camp and how long is it. So I believe because I'm still working on it. There are still tons of videos and modules I have to upload, but I am trying to keep track of it. I think the original boot camp was between 20 and 50 hours. I think it was like around 50 hours. But they're self-paced video modules, so you can take it at your leisure, always go back, rewatch, and you have lifetime access. So let me run through it. So the 10-hour 10K work month boot camp teaches you everything that you need to be able to live a 10-hour 10K work month life. That means working only 10 hours per month and making over $10,000 per month, okay? And how can one do that? How is that possible? First of all, you can't work a job. If you work a job, you will always get paid. Sorry, let me get a little boost of caffeine here. If you work a job, you'll always get paid for, you'll trade time for money. And you don't want to do that. You can never live a 10-hour 10K work month and trade your time for money. You have to trade, and this is why like trades are so much of a better option in today's world, right? Back in the day, this is what worked for our parents, right? What worked for our parents doesn't work anymore. We don't do anything that worked for our parents. So why are we still doing what worked for our parents job-wise, right? Like we have modern bills now, like modern prices for things. We need to have modern ways of making money. And to make money now is to work a trade, right? And the beauty about today's age is that we have online trades, right? And trades, you always get paid for your results, not for the time it takes to get to your results. You get paid for the value you provide, right? What are online trades? Anything you probably do at your current job, you just didn't realize you could go out and do it on your own, so long as it's on a computer, right? Graphic design, SEO, copywriting, UX design, website development, graphic design, all of those things are online trades, right? In my boot camp, right, because I've been doing this for over 12 years, I've offered tons of trades over the year, and I narrowed it down to meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. Why, you ask? Because they pay the most and they're the easiest to outsource. So nothing wrong with any other trades. Not knocking them at all, but if you don't want to waste your time doing something like website development where it's not going to pay as much, go straight to the trades that pay the most. Meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. Why do they pay the most? Because you can, down to the penny, tell your client how much money you're bringing in for them, right? I have clients that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. They spend $100,000. I bring them in 300, 400, 500. I 5 times their return, right? Their investment. And when you know how to do that, it pays very, 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 very well. So I certify you from a fully accredited facility. It is in meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. So you learn from a total beginner all the way to expert level, not just like basics, foundation 101, which is what you'll find in Meta's certification thing. It's just like how to navigate the dashboard and how to set things up, right? But if you want to actually learn how to optimize, how to analyze the data, how to scale your clients' ads profitably so that you're getting them 3, 4, 5 times their return, that is expert level knowledge. I take you into my clients' actual accounts and show you the exact moves I make. So it's not just theory of what works. It's literally, this is what's working right now and here's how I do it. So in the boot camp, you get certified in meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing. The certification is legally recognized in over 51 countries. So very, very cool. So after that, right? What's the next step of being able to live a 10-hour, 10K work month life? You have to position yourself as an expert, right? Now you've got to become the go-to person in those skills and those trades. So how do you do that? In the bootcamp, I teach you and walk you through how to create a website using AI. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. In under 15 minutes, you can have a full AI website, fully functional, totally free too. It's free. Free. You don't have to pay an additional dime. Once you take the bootcamp, setting up, managing, running, doesn't cost you anything. So there will be some AI automations in there if you want to be able to use them that do cost money. I don't make any money off of you using these automations whatsoever. You have to have N8N and Zapier, and then probably the premium ChatGPT, but it's totally not necessary, just an optional. But what I'm saying is like it doesn't cost any additional money in order to make your first 10K month. So you need to create a website and a LinkedIn profile. I walk you through exactly how to do that. I've been doing this for over 12 years. I know exactly what you need to have on there so that you attract those high paying clients and attract those recruiters. And then you got to get clients, right? You got to get clients. You can never, we're not getting jobs, right? You can't live a 10-hour, 10K work month life if you work a job. And this is where every other boot camp course training falls short, because they teach you, okay, now go get a job. Or they don't even teach you anything. They're just like, here, now you have the knowledge, figure it out, right? And this was one of the primary reasons why I created the boot camp, was to get you to that place, like, okay, now what? I had one of my students tell me that she spent like $12,000 on other trainings, and not one of them taught her how to get clients. And she's like, great, cool, but like, okay, now how do I make money? So I go hard on that. I teach you exactly how to get clients on Upwork, LinkedIn, and Indeed, and I give you every single resource you need to make that happen. Cover letter templates, proposal templates, contract templates, scope of service templates, client onboarding checklists, mock interviews with clients. And these are like resources that are actually tried and true. They're the ones that I use that close and work with those $10,000 a month clients. And I give you all of the templates for it. It's literally just plug and play. It's like a turnkey business. You just have to implement and execute. And then, of course, I teach you now the fun part, right? So that might sound like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. Getting your first client is a lot of work. But I make it as easy as possible. I didn't say I make it easy. I said I make it as easy as possible, okay? And that's very, very important to note. There's no such thing as a get-rich-quick thing. You don't want a get-rich-quick thing. They blow up in your face 100% of the time. You do have to dedicate some time learning the stuff, becoming that authority, and then booking clients, right? And that takes a little bit of time, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Consistency pays off 100% of the time. Just keep applying. Just keep applying. You'll hear a lot of no's. Eventually, you'll hear your first yes, and it starts to snowball. Trust me. Trust me. Everybody gets their first client as a total beginner at some point. And then comes the fun part on how we're able to work only 10 hours per month and make over 10K per month. So you guys know I'm the queen of AI, so I show you and walk you through how to automate the entire thing using AI. How to leverage all the best AI tools out there, how to become a prompt engineer, how to automate the entire back end, the entire thing. I give you guys my AI automation. This is what took me from $30,000 a month to $100,000 per month, because now AI does all my cold outreach. It's absolutely bonkers. It runs behind the scene. I built it out on Zapier with a custom GPT that pitches my services for me on my behalf, has communication with that potential client, closes them right there on the email thread. It's bonkers. It's so cool. Literally what made me a millionaire. And I give it to you. I don't even show you how to build it out, because it took me like 6 months to build it out myself. I just give you the template and walk you through how to personalize it and customize it for yourself. And then now we have to delegate the workout, right? This is how you really live that 10-hour, 10K work month. Because you have to delegate the workout. And I walk you through that entire process, how to find freelancers on Fiverr, how to delegate all the workout to them, the systems and processes of that. You learn everything. It's the entire 360. There's no guesswork. There's nothing else. You've figured it out. Certified expert in all 3 of the highest paying online trades: net ads, TikTok ads, email marketing. How to position yourself as an expert with an AI website that's free and a LinkedIn profile that attracts recruiters and high paying clients. How to actually get clients on Upwork, LinkedIn, and Indeed, plus every single resource you're going to need to make that happen. Cover letter templates, proposal templates, contract templates, you name it, you got it. How to automate the entire thing using AI, plus my AI automations, and then how to delegate all of the work out to freelancers on Fiverr so that your focus is on one thing and one thing only, and that is getting more clients, aka getting more money and working less. And that's how you do it. The updates that are coming are really, really good as well. Like an insane amount of updates. I'm going to have a client board for all students who graduate with their certifications, so that you guys are getting fed potential clients, like a job board, but obviously it's not jobs, it's a client board. And you'll have your own profile on there, and potential clients can reach out to you directly. So very, very cool, very exciting, like job placement, but client placement. You'll have access to my AI clone. You'll be able to access this clone 24/7. It's me, but better. It's fully trained on the entire boot camp, and you guys can ask it questions like asking me questions 24/7. So really, really cool, really exciting. And then of course you guys get your accredited, accreditation certificate that's legally recognized in 51 countries. So bada bing, bada boop, baby. Really, really cool and exciting. Bane, how do you decide on pricing and charging clients for the services and paying freelancers? When we are in our entrepreneurship journey, it's very important to remember there is nothing that is black and white. There is nothing that, okay, this is exactly how I should do it. And like, because I charge what, like $10,000 per month plus for clients. There are people on Fiverr who charge $500 a month for it, and then there are agencies who charge $50,000 a month for it, right? To do the same thing. It's more about, okay, how much value can I provide to you to justify whatever price I'm charging, right? Again, I bring in my clients 3, 4, 5 times that in return, so I can easily charge however much I want, right? You're not gonna find like a rule of thumb, okay? And it can be really hard when we're used to black and white, right? Where it's like, I offer this service, this is exactly how much I should charge. Doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You can ask AI, you can ask ChatGPT to base it. If you're really, really, really thrown and you have no idea, right, and you're a total beginner, you can simply just Google or ask AI, what is the average salary whatever location you're in? So what is the average salary in South Florida for a meta ads expert? And it'll tell you, you can divide that by 12, and then that can be your going retainer rate, right? Because that's a monthly fee, and you can justify it based on industry statistics. Oh, and then paying the freelancers, right? There is no rule of thumb for that, right? There's no 60-20, there's no 60-20, 60-40, there's no 50-50. It's all circumstantial, and it's all based on, okay, I have this client, right? This client's paying me this much, so now I need to go over to Fiverr, because Fiverr, they list their price, right? So it's not like you're looking for somebody and you have to negotiate pricing. They list their price, and they list their price hourly. Again, I cover all of this in the bootcamp. They list their price hourly, right? So you'll reach out to somebody after you've properly vetted them and say, hey, listen, I have this client. This is what we have to do for them. How many hours a month, or how many hours, a month do you think this is going to take? They're going to probably be like, 10, even though it's really 8, right? They're going to buff it up a little bit. You're going to say, okay, let's call it 12, right? And I'm just going to put you on a monthly retainer, and you're going to do the work, right? And if that amount gives you enough profit from that client, you work with them. There's no rule of thumb. How do we get the certificate? Is it automatically emailed once everything is marked as complete? So great question. So you will get 2 certificates, right? The one certificate is from me, from my LLC, the one that I've always given out. And that, once you've completed every module, is automatic and will get sent to you. You will also get an email notifying you about, well, not right now, because the bootcamp as it is isn't fully updated, but when it's fully updated, you do have to pass exams. You have to pass 3 exams in order to get your accredited certification. The exams don't cost any money. You do have additional tries to take the exam if you fail, and I give you study guides. So meta ads, TikTok ads, and email marketing exams, all 3 of those, and you have to pass all 3, and then you will get the accredited certification. Bane, can you please do a pros and cons list of your course for Coursia's meta ads buying? You did their 90-hour course. Bane, that's a great question, and I'm not going to be able to give you, necessarily an answer. I have never taken their exam. I can't tell you what the pros and cons are, right? I can't tell. I don't know what they're doing, and I know Coursia, however you say it, I think that they've probably got great programs. I've never seen any of them, but I've heard of them. They're very well known. I think that they're a fine company, and you'll probably learn a lot, right? So not knocking it in any way, not saying that there's any cons with it. I don't even know. All I can tell you is what I'm doing, what's in my bootcamp, and the pros and cons to my bootcamp, right? The cons to my bootcamp are going to be the cons that are going to be to any bootcamp, right? Is that you have to do the work. There's no get rich quick thing. And the hardest part of any of this is actually executing and implementing, and then being consistent with it. And that's with any entrepreneurship. That's not with my bootcamp specifically. That's, I know so many students that get stuck in a vicious cycle of education and never actually executing, because they feel like I'm not ready, I need to learn more, when the reality is that there are 50, 100 other people way dumber and less educated than you that are out there that are making a ton of money simply because they're not telling themselves that. So you just have to actually implement and execute everything. I think one of the main differences though between mine and of course Coursia's, I don't know if they're accredited, right? I don't know. And also mine is like a 360, right? So I'm not just teaching you meta ads and certifying you in that. Now I'm teaching you the entire business model and how to work only 10 hours per month and make over 10K per month, right? You're not just learning the services and trades and skills and then I'm saying like, okay, now go figure it out, right? Or go get a job. I'm teaching you now how to actually get clients, providing all the templates and resources for that as well, cover letter templates, proposal templates, how to actually get clients on Upwork, LinkedIn, and Indeed, how to automate the entire thing so that you work very, very minimal, and then how to delegate the work out so that it is a full 360 business model that's not just teaching you how to be a freelancer, right? This is teaching you how to build a sustainable business that you can later down the line even sell or give to your children, right? Not like a freelancer thing. Coursia, the Google School thingy, it lacked practical exercises. Yeah, so that's, I know, like, because I mean, I haven't taken it in, I probably haven't taken it in 12 years. It used to be obviously Facebook Blueprint, but now it's called Meta's Blueprint. And that's very, like, I don't know what that one is, the one you're talking about, but I know, like, Meta's Blueprint is very, like, it's not like strategy or actually maintaining and optimizing your clients, right? It's like, okay, here's the dashboard. Here's how you set yourself up. Here's how you build a campaign, right? Here's how you create like a business manager. Here's how you assign a partner. Here's how you put in an ad, right? Which is great and fine, and you need to learn that, but then it doesn't go on after that. It doesn't go, okay, now what? Now that the campaigns are up and running and I'm getting numbers in and it's spending money, what do I do? How do I actually make them profitable? Because anytime you hear a client say, hey, I tried Facebook ads and it doesn't work, I lost a lot of money, they didn't know what they were doing. Literally every single business can be profitable on meta ads if they know what they're doing. It's literally just advertising, right? And Meta is the most advertised on platform on the planet, and that's not because people are losing money. It's because they're making big money. You get the Meta Blue certification at the end. It's the same as what you just rebranded. Same as what you know, just rebranded. So like I said, the Meta Blue certificate, there's nothing wrong with it. It's really good. It's just going to teach you the basics and foundations in the 101, but not like the actually how to like get up and running and maintain. And like I take you into my clients' accounts and I show you the exact moves, not like in theory what works, like we're spending money in real time. So I teach all of that basics foundation stuff too. And then I teach you how to actually be an expert. What do you think of AI automation consultant? That's a very broad question. In what context? For B2B, for what? I do a lot of AI automation. Your client wants social media management as well as ad management. Should you charge separate? Yeah, but bundle it. And then do like a bundle special. So if they, price them separately, but then if they pick both of them together, they get like, make it incentive. Oh, how long do clients typically keep one ad running? So let me answer this. This is a question. Oof. This is a question to get into because there's no such thing of an answer that exists for that. First of all, if there's an ad that's profitable, you never turn it off. That's why sometimes you'll see ads running that are like Christmas ads and it's like February and you're like, these idiots. And it's like, no, that ad is 100% bringing them in a ton of profit still, so they're letting it roll. Big companies typically don't do that, but you'll see a lot of smaller companies do that because like, why are we going to kill the money train, right? So and this is why they pay us the big bucks, because a lot of it is gut. A lot of it is gut, and it's being able to look at the numbers and say, hey, okay, listen, this ad hasn't converted yet, but it's gotten a lot of add to carts. It's getting a lot of click-through rates. I think if I just give it an extra 24 hours, we'll start to see the conversions coming through, right? Or it can be, listen, it's getting a lot of clicks, it's getting a lot of add to carts. I don't think it's gonna go. I don't think it's gonna go, we're shutting it off or killing it. Keep in mind, you have at least 25 ads running at a time, at minimum. 6 70% aren't gonna go. 70% aren't gonna work. And that's the whole point. You throw up one ad, you're asking for failure. It's all testing. I typically if I set up a new campaign with ads running, I'll typically let 3 days pass, right? I'm checking in on it every day to make sure there's nothing crazy going on. But I need to let Meta have some time to generate figuring it out, right? Before I make any decisions, unless there's an obvious decision to make and I implement there. But yeah, this is why it's important to work with, learn from a certified expert, because and Meta will never tell you that there is a general rule of thumb. The only thing Meta will tell you, and you'll learn this real quick from their consultants who are just glorified salespeople, they'll tell you, oh, no, leave that ad on. You just have to spend more money. That's why it's not working. You have to spend more money. And that's horseshit. Because it's not like the more money you spend, the better the ad performs. It's just the more money you spend, the more people see the ad. And then the more likely there is for conversion. But if it's a shit ad and you spend a lot of money on it, it's still a shit ad and people still won't convert. Why is my bootcamp so expensive? I'm sorry, you should be asking, why is my bootcamp so reasonable? My bootcamp has now been evaluated since I got that accreditation. They did a full evaluation on it. It's now valued at between $20,000 and $30,000 because the certifications you get, the 3 of them, are legally recognized in over 51 countries. And so you're getting there's no such thing as a degree in meta ads or TikTok ads or email marketing. So the only way to get something that is credible is to go through a certification place. And there are a lot of certifications, but if you want to actually get one from somebody that's accredited, this is the route you go. And then also I teach it from an entire 360. So not only do you learn, the 3 services and get certified in them, you learn everything else and every template and resource you need to make it happen. The templates and resources in there alone are worth the price in the bootcamp. Cover letter templates, proposal templates, contract templates, scope of service templates, client onboarding checklists, mock interviews with clients, competitor analysis reports. And this is stuff that's tried and true, the stuff that I actually use and my students actually use, these templates. So you're not just getting oh, here's a template. These are credible templates. It's an insane value for the price. And when somebody asks why is something so expensive, it's because they don't value acceleration of the process, because you can fully do it on your own. Listen, this is coming from somebody who sells something. You can do it on your own. It took me 12 years to do it on my own. I would happily hand over a ton of money to skip that process, to skip those 12 years. So if it's too expensive for you, you're more than welcome to learn it on your own. That's how I did it. I would never knock that. I do have to run soon, guys. I try to go live for at least an hour. It's been well over an hour now. So I'm going to answer any last quick questions. And yeah. Victoria, can you run TikTok ads without a TikTok shop? You absolutely can. You can even run TikTok ads without a TikTok, period. That's why sometimes you'll see instead of somebody's a business's icon, it'll be that little megaphone. That's because they don't have a TikTok account. So yes. They will just be directed to the website instead of to a TikTok shop. How much minimum should they spend per month if they are on a low budget? So TikTok makes you spend more than Meta does. And that doesn't exist. That's not there's one magic number that if they spend this much, they'll see results. It's all about reach. So this is arbitrary, but say $1, one person sees it, right? So you spend $100, 100 people see it. So the more people that see it, the more conversions you'll get, because the more opportunity, right? So it's pay to play, and you'll get the same results with the same amount of money. It's just one's going to take you longer, right? If you spend more in one day, you're going to get results faster than if it's spread out over the month. If they don't want to waste time, you spend at least $1,000 at least on ads, right? It's pay to play. You want to get results. You got to tell your client, got to put on our big boy pants and spend some money. Advice, please, on starting your first ad. Doing it for a nail lady. Would love to do your expert level. I need more context. Give me more context. How much is the boot camp? So it was originally $4,000 all in. Literally, you get everything, a lifetime access. And then during my lives, it would be half off, so just under $2,000. But the price is going up when the boot camp reopens in November. I'm not sure by how much. I believe I'm going to charge $5,000 for it because I have to now to meet the minimum threshold for that accreditation. Like I said, it's now evaluated at $20,000 to $30,000, so I do have to increase the price. I'm also adding a ton of more value in there too, so well worth it. Plus that accreditation, much more worth it. But then again, it will be half off during my lives. And if you sign up for the waitlist, which is in the link in my profile, you'll click the link in my profile. It'll take you to my link tree. And it's the second link in my link tree for the bootcamp waitlist. And the people on that waitlist will be the first to hear of when it's going to officially be reopened. And I'm going to give a lot of incentives for the first couple of people who sign up. So make sure that you get there if you're interested. What is the most effective platform to advertise your kitchen cabinet business? So this is going to be an answer you're not going to want to hear. And if anybody tells you something different, they don't know what they're talking about. That answer doesn't exist. You have to try all the platforms and see which one works best for you. There could be plenty of businesses kitchen cabinet businesses. You know, I actually worked for a kitchen cabinet business. I ran their Google ads too. I hate Google ads. Not to say that they don't work. Google ads work really well and most businesses need them. I just hate running them myself. And I ran their Facebook ads and I did their TikTok ads. I built all of their websites. He had so many websites. Oh my God. And I worked out of his showroom a lot in, if you guys are familiar with South Florida, the Dakota building. So I'm actually very familiar with that. Meta ads did work great. We did lead gen for him. But then we had to give all the leads to their sales team. But any platform's going to work. Any platform's going to work, but you can hear somebody say, hey, I have kitchen cabinets and we crush it on TikTok. Don't use anything else, right? And then you'll hear somebody else be like, hey, we're over on Pinterest. We crush it. Don't use anything else, right? You're going to have to try them all and put money in all of these places and see what works. You can focus on one or two at a time, right? What you want to do is post organic content first. Post organic content on all the platforms, right? This is how you're going to gauge the market and where it's going to convert for you. Find out where your audience is by posting organically on every platform. LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, on all of them. For a while, for 90 days. That'll be your indicator. Organic content, you don't have to spend money on creatives testing to see if they'll work when you can just post it organically and see if it works. And if it works, then you put advertising spend behind it. Can anyone purchase right now, or will not allow them to until it's reopened? So you can't purchase the bootcamp right now. You can sign up for the waitlist in my link tree, the link in my profile. And they will be the first to know when it's available, and you guys will be the first to get all these incentives and freebies. Fariel says, tons of value in the course. Excited for the updates and accreditation. Get it. You won't regret it. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you saying that. I love when my students pop in here and say nice things. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Nail Lady is seeking more bookings. That's always the hardest part, right? Everybody wants to think that learning is the hardest part. Nah, it's getting people to pay you money. That's the hardest part. So she wants more bookings. That's the hardest part. Never did ads before, looking for clients. You want to help her via Instagram ads. Have her post organic content first. If she's already posting organic content first, which is performing the best, put advertising spend behind it. Bada bing, bada boom. Don't boost posts. Don't do sponsored posts. You have to actually do it through Ads Manager, and don't target for... Keep in mind, Meta will optimize. This is like, I stress this so much in the bootcamp too. Meta will optimize for exactly what you tell it for, right? So if you tell Meta to optimize for more awareness, right? You want more people to see her nail work and get bookings. That's all they're going to do. They're going to throw it up like a digital billboard. And they're not going to, you can target, obviously, your target audience and people in her area, but it's going to be thrown like a digital billboard. And the beauty about meta ads is you can tell, hey, I want you to do exactly what I need, right? So she needs more bookings, she needs more leads. So optimize only for leads. Don't optimize for traffic, don't optimize for anything else but leads. Always optimize for your client's end goal. Don't listen to anybody else. I promise that will be biggest mistake is if you let a meta ads expert, or even in their certificate, they tell you like, oh, you got to season the pixel, you got to get that data. You can season the pixel with fucking the right optimization too. Like for e-commerce, they'll be like, oh, you have to optimize for people to view the product. Then you have to optimize for them to add to cart. Then you have to optimize for them to initiate checkout. And then you need to optimize for them to purchase. No, go straight to purchase. I promise every single time. Always optimize for your client's end goal. If you want to get extra engagement on an ad so it looks good, you can run an engagement optimized ad alongside that ad. But always make sure you're optimizing for your client's end goal. Please, 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 please. This is one of the biggest indicators if somebody is full of shit, is if they tell you that you need to season the pixel and do things that you don't need to do first. Video views you can optimize for and then retarget that, that's fine. But anything else, always optimize for the client's end goal. You're setting up your business suite now for your personal pages and brands and loving your Substack. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. Also, you guys, my Substack, you guys can subscribe to that. That's also the first link in my link tree in my profile, and it's free to subscribe. Will you be using Substack only or still go live here as well? I'm going to go live on both. But yeah. Okay, so I do have to run. Thank you so much, guys. I will be going live more regularly. I hope I got to answer all your guys' questions. If I didn't, please feel free to leave it on my most recent video. I promise this is why I go live. It's why I do what I do, is to answer your guys' questions, and I genuinely want to answer them. So please feel free to leave it on my most recent video. If you want all of because right now the bootcamp isn't available, you can sign up for the waitlist in my link tree. Also, I'm very active in Substack. This is where I share, I just drop knowledge bombs here and there. As well as long form, super in-depth content on there. So check out my Substack. I promise you won't regret it, and I'll be around more. So, and get ready for the bootcamp update because it's coming, baby. All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Maria. Thank you guys, everybody. Marjorie, it's my middle name. You can't log into the bootcamp. Please send me an email at 10hour10kworkmonth@gmail.com if you're a current student. Because it's not available to non-students right now. But if you're a current student, you absolutely have access and lifetime access to it, and you have access right now. So please send me an email, 10hour10kworkmonth@gmail.com. I will send you a reset link for your password, and we will get you in. I'll do it right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Hang out on my Substack too if you guys are interested, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Have a wonderful night. Bye.